And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watts UK99. Thank you as always for taking the time to watch these videos. So it all comes down to this. The Super Bowl is this Sunday. It's the Chiefs, it's the Eagles, and we are here to preview the game. Maybe give you a couple of prop bets to look at if that's the route that you choose to go. And of course, give you a score prediction for the game. Now, for myself personally, I am 8-4 in predicting playoff games straight up. Got both championship games correct, so at least I had one week where I got everything right. But this Super Bowl is going to be it's an intriguing matchup, even if the teams aren't exactly capturing the imagination and fascination of everyday fans, because we have seen these teams in the Super Bowl quite a bit, especially Kansas City. They've been there 3 straight times. But this is a rematch of 2 years ago down in the New Orleans Superdome, the Caesars Superdome. The game starts at 6:30 according to the listings, which means it's really going to start more like 6:53 Eastern time. We know how that goes. And you know what? On the Eagles' end, both these teams are hot. With Philadelphia, they're 15-1 in their last 16 games, and that one loss came by 3 points in a game where Jalen Hurts missed 3 quarters because he had a concussion. As for Kansas City, well, they're only 22-1 in the last 23 games that Patrick Mahomes has started. Chiefs are a 1.5 favorite last I saw. The over-under for point total is 49. All right, let's break down this matchup. I'm going to do this like I do with the Jets game, starting when the Chiefs offense has the ball going against the Eagles defense. That is going to be a fascinating matchup. Kansas City is a little bit weakened on that offensive line, especially at tackle. One of them is Joe Thuney, who's really a guard. He's an amazing guard, and he's competent at tackle. And on the other side, well, it's a penalty machine. The Eagles aren't very deep at pass rush. They don't rotate a lot of guys in and out. Bryce Huff has all been glued to the bench at this point, but they get pressure. Jalen Carter is absolutely devastating up the middle. The Chiefs have to contain him. Also, Milton Williams, I like him a lot. Josh Sweat coming off the outside, got to pay attention to him. But the Eagles, they can handle this Kansas City passing attack if anybody can. During the regular season, Philly allowed just 174 passing yards per game. That's number one. But Mahomes is 3-0 in the playoffs when he faces the NFL's top-ranked passing defense. He's 8-0 when facing a Vic Fangio coach team. Fangio, well-respected defensive coordinator, coaches the defense for the Eagles. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have to run quite a bit in this game. He does it now more than he used to. But I look at the wide receiver weapons for Kansas City, the receiving weapons. Obviously, Travis Kelce at tight end. We talked about him a lot last week. But now Xavier Worthy's speed, that's going to scare Philadelphia a little bit when you could put him in the slot and Hollywood Brown on the outside. But I like the Eagles secondary as well. You've got Quinyon Mitchell, the rookie, and Darius Slay at cornerback. CJ Gardner and Reed Blankenship at safety. Cooper DeJean, the rookie, entered the starting lineup in week 6. They can defend the pass very, very well. I don't think this is going to be an easy day on offense for Kansas City at all. And let's be honest, the KC offense hasn't exactly been running on all cylinders all season. I think they're facing the toughest defense that they have seen all season, and it's not really all that close. But on the other side of the ball, when the Eagles have the football against the Chiefs defense, here's the matchup I want to see. The Eagles offensive line, that big physical offensive line blocking the Kansas City front seven. Now, defenses have blitzed the Eagles offense at a league-high 33.7% rate. The Chiefs play a lot of man-heavy defense 53% of the time. They blitz 33% of the time. That's the 4th highest. Now, the Eagles have had either the best or second best offensive line in the NFL this year, depending on who you talk to. But the injury statuses of Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens, they've been getting monitored. They both missed part of the NFC title game. As of now, both are expected to play, but they got the task of stopping Chris Jones, who is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer and absolute game wrecker on defense. And because of Mahomes and Kelce, I don't really think he gets the mainstream recognition that he should. Football fans know him, but he's not a household name, and I think he has some motivation to change that. But more than that, Steve Spagnuolo is so good at disguising pressure. He confuses the quarterback. He did it to Josh Allen in the AFC title game. Allen thought he saw one scheme, turned out to be something totally different, and it messed them up at the end of the game. And here's the thing with Jalen Hurts. He averages 2.7 seconds per dropback. That is a league high. He was sacked 45 times this year. That cannot happen this Sunday. Hurts has to be willing to throw the ball away or take off running because he cannot let the Kansas City pass rush of Jones, George Karlaftis, everybody else, just tee off on him all night long. And then, of course, there's Saquon Barkley. He has averaged 147 rushing yards in his last 3 playoff games. He knows how to make the first defender miss. The Chiefs' defense is very fundamentally sound, but at any moment, Barkley can break off a 50 or 60-yard run. The first thing Spagnuolo has to do is figure out how to contain Saquon Barkley. A couple other game notes. The Chiefs are 6-1 this season when they trail in the fourth quarter. It's a situation where if the Eagles want to win this game, hey, here's the situation. Get up 2 scores. Be up at least 9 points late. That way Mahomes drives down the field. Hey, he might put him in the end zone, but he hasn't taken the lead yet. Then you have to go to the onside kick, which is just a useless play at this point. Eagles need to get up early in my mind. As far as kickers go, both Jake Elliott of Philadelphia, Harrison Butker have both been very good kickers for a long time. I'd say Butker is a little bit more reliable at this point. And we got to talk about this, the officials. I don't want to, but we have to. Rob Torbert will be the ref for this game. In 2024, Torbert's crew threw the 3rd most flags in the NFL, an average of 17 flags per game. In the division round, his crew threw 12 flags, 6 each against Washington and Detroit. Translation, I can see the officials having something to do with the outcome of this game. All right, let's give you a couple of prop bets here. I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes gets over 29.5 rushing yards. In the AFC title game, Mahomes rushed for 43 yards on 11 carries. And during the regular season, he converted 22 first downs just running. And in all of his Super Bowls, he's had 29, 33, 41, and 66 yards rushing. So give me Mahomes over on the rushing yards. Conversely to that, Kareem Hunt, I'm going to say under 11.5 rushing attempts. Now, he had 17 carries against the Bills last week. But in that game, the Chiefs led or retired on over 2/3 of the offensive snaps. And at that point, they still called 33 passes and 30 runs. Well, the Eagles' run defense is much better than Buffalo. They've allowed only 4.1 yards per carry this year. That's 6th lowest. They've allowed the 5th fewest scrimmage yards to running backs. I don't think it makes sense to use a whole lot of Kareem Hunt in this game. More Isaiah Pacheco. I'm going to say for Philadelphia, Dallas Goedert, the tight end, gets over 52.5 receiving yards. If you go by yards per target, the Chiefs' defense was the worst in football against opposing tight ends. Kansas City is allowing 6 receptions per game to the tight end position. That's the 4th most in the NFL. Goddard also has at least 4 receptions in 9 straight playoff games, and he also has that big playability after the catch. So for a linebacking unit for the Chiefs that struggles in coverage, I think Dallas Goedert can have a big game. Everyone's talking about Travis Kelce. I think Goddard could have an even bigger game than Kelce does. A.J. Brown, I hope he's got all his reading in. I'm going to say under 5.5 receptions. He's gone under 6 receptions in 11 games this year, including twice in the playoffs. Also in the Kansas City secondary, Jalen Watson is back at quarterback and looking very, very good. I expect a lot of Watson covering Brown on Sunday night. All right, I'm going to give you 2 more. The Chiefs, under 3.5 team sacks. Now, I know I said earlier that the Eagles are very prone to giving up quarterback sacks because Jalen Hurts holds the ball. But that offensive line, it plays a big role. And the Eagles' offensive line ranks 6th in pass block win rate. And if I'm Nick Sirianni, I got to emphasize to Jalen Hurts, listen, you cannot give up big sacks. It's okay to throw the ball away once in a while. I think that's got to be a point of emphasis this week in the Philadelphia locker room. And combined first quarter points, I'm going to go under 9.5. So teams have combined to score 10 points or more in the first quarter in just 5 of the last 27 Super Bowls. That's it. These Super Bowls are getting off to slow starts on offense. There have also been 6 scoreless first quarters in those 27 Super Bowls, including last year with the Chiefs and 49ers. Okay, so with all that in mind, what is my prediction for the game? Well, Kansas City's been riding the line of balance all year, holding on by just a thread, to use an old Springsteen lyric, but they've been pulling out wins they had no business getting. whether it's a fourth down stop here, a kick getting blocked here, a snap being dropped, a field goal bouncing off an upright. I just think Philadelphia has a better roster, maybe not as good as a coaching staff, not as good of a quarterback, but most other positions, I would give Philadelphia the edge. They match up very well. I think they are a better team. They've been a more consistent team. Yes, Kansas City has the intangibles. They've got the winning pedigree, but Philadelphia's just got a little bit more to prove. I think they're a little more hungry, and I think they win this game. Final score, Eagles 26, Chiefs 23, and it will be Philadelphia's second Super Bowl in their history. Well, those are my thoughts and predictions on the Super Bowl. If you've got some thoughts, put them right down there in the comments. Enjoy the game on Sunday if you're watching. Actually, at work today, we did a poll, and one of the questions we had to answer was, what's Kendrick Lamar's first song going to be during the halftime show? I couldn't name one Kendrick Lamar song if I had $1 million on the line. But enjoy the halftime show if that's your thing. I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.